Welcome to the Good Games Podcast, episode number 159. This is a show where we talk about video games and gamer-related things. My name is Franklin Palmanso, and I'm your host. And as always, I'm joined by the co-host of the show, Alex Nunez. What's up, sir?
What's up is that I can barely contain my hype. This week is going to be fucking crazy. I'm getting ready to hibernate in my house this weekend because there's going to be a lot of fighting game stuff happening.
As we all know, Christmas has come early once again this year, as it has every year for a while. And the wonderful Evolution tournament is happening this coming weekend. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about you all, but like Alex, I'm going to be just sitting and watching everything.
Watching streams, as many streams as I have screens.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm going to be dual, triple, maybe quadruple streaming. Got a phone, computer, TV, another TV. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that time again, man.
I had a minor freak out because I thought the Destiny 2 beta was this weekend as well. I was like, oh no, this is that, but it's Destiny 2 is next week, thankfully. So
conflict.
Yes, it's like my two loves. What do I choose?
But yeah, I'm very much excited as well for Evolution. I'm hoping that we're gonna see hopefully some paradigm shifts, and hopefully they'll realize like, all right, we need to bring like other games next year. You know, but I'm looking forward to seeing Tekken 7. I'm looking forward to seeing Smash Brothers Wii U.
Yeah.
Street Fighter V. And I'm very much looking forward to the Arc Systems Works games, but only because I want to see the turnout for that, because Dragon Ball Fighter Z is next year, and that is for sure going to be an Evo pick. If it's not, the world stops spinning on its axis.
Yeah, I'm sure like a lot of people are going to enter to play that game as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be
Tekken
nuts.
7 actually has a very, very good showing this year, too. Like, they broke 1,000 entrants this year, which I don't think has been a thing for Tekken, at least in Evos prior.
No, Tekken, surprisingly, though, Tekken hasn't been very strong, hasn't had very many attendees. Mm-hmm. I think like some of the biggest ones were for Tekken 5 and I think Tekken Tag 2.
Yeah,
those had like the most attendees, but even then, they never broke 1,000, like you said. And unfortunate news with Street Fighter V, it seems like the entrants have dropped maybe something like 70% from last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like crazy like that.
Yeah, it's like something like 3,600 contestants, like less than last year, or something like that. I'm like, God, what is happening? So
I think there's like a bunch of factors there. I think. I didn't look this up myself, but I was hearing that the ticket prices for Evo this year were a lot higher because
they've gone
now
up.
It's completely in the Mandalay Bay this year for the whole weekend, where before they were splitting time between the convention center and then Mandalay Bay for the finals. But so cost might be a factor. There's a lot of people also poo-pooing on Street Fighter V for a lot of things.
There's a lot more poo-pooing on Street Fighter V like lately. And, yeah.
That could also be a factor, but I think the numbers are still like bigger than what Street Fighter 4 was even at its peak. So Evo is still growing for the most part. So I don't think it's too big of a deal, but we'll see how Street Fighter 5 fares next Evo, I guess.
Yeah, and hoping. I mean, I know Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is probably going to be, not probably, definitely going to be at Evo next year, and. So I'm thinking it's going to take the place of course, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which got voted in, even though it wasn't supposed to be in the roster this year. And it's going to take the place of that. And then you're going to have Dragon Ball Z Fighters, which I got to tell you, I think Dragon Ball Fighter Z, it's not going to be the main event, but
it'll be a Sunday game for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to have the most attendees, honestly. Like, it's going to be something, man. If it doesn't, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, that'll surprise the hell out of me.
At the very least, I think it'll be like a top 3 game in terms of entrance.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm like I said, I'm even pushing it to, it's going to be the most, it's going to have the most amount of entrants, but we'll see. But yeah, Evo's happening.
Yeah, Evo's happening. There's also that Dark Horse game, that new Arika game is apparently
that's right.
It's going to be playable at Evo for people like attending, but what happens? I don't know. I'm curious what the hell that's going to be, even if it And now I'm like thinking about like, will it actually be a contender in terms of like games that are on the Evo, I guess, main tournament?
I don't know. If it does, it would have to dethrone like if I think if it does get in, it would probably have to be one of the games that's voted in if they have that problem again next year.
Yeah.
But if it does replace one of the games, I think maybe the game that it would probably replace would be, I hate to say it, but Killer Instinct might get replaced, or I'm not going to say Injustice 2 because Injustice 2 is very new, but Injustice 2 doesn't have a lot of contestants in that game at all. You know, the showing is very low. The numbers are very low for that game, but not the lowest in the entire roster. But yeah, I don't know. It seems to me that if it doesn't show up next year, like they want with the planning and, you know, them revealing it at this Evo, I think the following year, maybe it might have a chance.
Yeah, I don't know if the future for King of Fighters either looks real great.
Oh, KOF, that's right.
Like turnout, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is KOF, you've got to see though that KOF is a staple. Like KOF, as long as there has been a KOF, like KOF like 13, and I'm not sure if KOF 12 was ever an Evo. KOF 11 definitely was, I think, for 1 year. But I think KOF is like more of a staple than a fairly untested new game, you know, like the Eureka game.
Yeah.
Whereas like Persona 4 Arena, for example, made it to Evo with both iterations. And that was only because Arc Systems Works had made Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear, and Blaze Blue was, you know, going pretty strong at Evo, but some years Blaze Blue had dropped off, but they were able to put Persona 4 on name and on quality, but name before quality. And Eureka, yeah, Street Fighter EX, like everybody loved that game, broken as hell, you know, broken as fuck. The game was fun, but at the same time, you know, this is now without the Capcom characters in the game, so we'll kind of see. I'm just thinking that the reception of the game itself will be a big factor in determining if it shows up at Evo anytime soon.
Yeah.
You know?
There's one to watch out for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. If that footage is indicative of what we're gonna see, it looks so good.
Yeah.
You know? But I hope that, yeah, I mean, yeah, more fighting games, why not? I mean, if they're thinking of putting, like, if they had in the voting, if they had like Windjammers or something like there, I'm like, if they had like a specifically non-fighting game, you know, on the roster for possible like a game being featured, then I would think that, you know, the Eureka game could have a really good shot as long as it's good.
Yeah, that's the key factor.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't suck. But
yeah,
Evo's this weekend, man. Oh man, are you excited? I'm excited.
I'm stocking up on drinks and snacks so I don't have to fucking leave the house and just stream all day.
Like, nobody talk to me.
Nope.
Don't text me. Don't call me. Don't do anything.
You want to watch? Go ahead. Sit down. Grab a beer or something.
Yeah.
But
that's all. Yeah. I'm with you. I was actually there was supposed to be an Evo viewing party at a friend of mine's house in Maryland, but he canceled the event, and I'm like, what the hell, dude? So I don't know if it's happening still, but I would have liked to go to that. I would have liked to have gone to that because yeah. But in any case, so yeah, I'm excited for Evo, but we're just gonna have to wait this weekend and see what happens. God damn it, Street Fighter V. I'm very much looking forward to seeing like how that all shakes out, man. Because with all the Pro Tour tournaments that have been going on, like I think that there's just fatigue setting in, or fatigue has set in a long time ago. Yeah. With all these people, there are too many tournaments that they're playing, and it just seems to me like that everybody's going to be tired, and it's going to be just like Evo is just another tournament because they've just been doing so many. You know.
I guess, yeah. There's a lot of the circuit is long and hard for Capcom Pro Tour, but I don't know. I've at least have been out of the loop for a little bit in terms of tournaments after like pretty much after E-League finished, I was like, all right, I don't need to watch more Street Fighter. I think I watched maybe a little bit of CEO, but that was it. But yeah, I don't know. I've been hearing crazy stuff like Justin Wong doing shit with Ed. So yeah, there's stuff to be seen or yet to discover, I think, with Street Fighter V, at least from my perspective. I haven't kept up with what the meta is now, but yeah, definitely want to see how everything shakes up. Who ends up on top? Who ends up in top 8?
Yeah, I'm hoping Smug makes it to top 8.
Yeah,
and Smug just kills everyone with Balrog.
I just want to see like a 50% turnaround punch on somebody. It'll be great.
I've seen that way more than I should have. Like from him especially, man. God damn it. And I'm like, how do you have the balls to do that in like a tournament? Like 25% damage, 30% damage, turnaround punches.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, God, you got some.
Just seeing all that red, that whole red life bar, it's just gone. It's soul destroying.
Gone. and the turnaround punch works just like his V skill. Like it's a little like an evasion. So it's just nasty.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nasty. But yeah, okay, so enough about Evo. We're actually going to be talking about Evo in depth next episode. So you can catch that when that drops next week.
Yeah.
But for right now, we have to do an episode for this week. And it's just it's a normal one. It's not about Evo, but let's go into what we've been playing. And Alex is going to go first. And I'm intrigued. It's not very often that you go backwards.
No, I try to stay in the current generation for the most part.
Yeah, but this time you made a change.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. But please go ahead and tell us what you've been playing.
So, well, before that, I want to say I've been juggling a bunch of things at this moment. So I'm still on that Magikarp Jump.
Oh my God.
If you follow me on Twitter, you know this. It's so fucking dumb. Like, there's no gameplay to speak of. I'm just making the numbers go up, but I can't stop checking in and increasing those numbers and getting the new leagues and stuff and shit. I enjoy Magikarp Jump. It is a silly, dumb thing, but there's really no like game mechanical value to playing it, quote unquote, but whatever. I enjoy it. And I've also been traipsing around Eorzea in Final Fantasy XIV still.
Uh-oh.
I'm actually very close to I think the free trial level cap, which I believe is 35. I think I'm like level 32 with my archer. So I'm kind of curious what happens when I hit level 35. If they just stop progression or if like I can't do quests and stuff anymore. I doubt it's the latter, but I don't know. I'll run to that soon enough. But I killed an Ifrit. That was cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, with it was one of those things. It was sort of like a raid, but it was just a boss battle. There wasn't any like dungeon or anything that I had to go around in.
Okay.
So yeah, but I still had to like matchmake with like 3 other people and get the correct team composition. 2 DPS, tank healer, and all that jazz. And yeah, we just beat down an Ifrit together. That was like, okay, we're just beating summon bosses, and I don't know. I kind of like the way they explain them in the story. Like they're. At least this Ifrit, he was like he's what's referred to as a primal in this world of Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh, a wild summon.
Yeah, cool. They're like, they're like gods to people. And I think normally the way they exist is their essence is just like in the world, like in nature, almost like the Final Fantasy VII live stream stuff.
Oh, interesting.
And then I guess there was a need, or people were crying out for a god, and they followed this god. And I guess the stronger that urge is, or that worship is, then that primal kind of it takes a corporeal form in this world and becomes a god, and can enthrall people and make them worship. And I guess that feeds into whatever. I don't know. You're immune to that shit in Final Fantasy XIV, so you just beat Ifrit down. I'm like, oh my god, I'm killing gods already. This is insane.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun still with that game.
Yo, I saw Final Fantasy XIV. I went into GameStop like last Friday, and it was during my lunch break, and I just happened to be eating lunch next to one, so I went in there and I saw they had like Final Fantasy XIV. It was like a full package of like I think like all of the DLC or the expansions, I should say, up to this point. And
including Stormblood?
Stormblood, yep.
Okay.
And it was like $40. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, I could do this. But then I thought about the monthly subscriptions, and I never really played MMOs before, so I'm like, all right, you know what, I'm good.
Get that free trial, man.
Yeah, actually, I did think about doing that too. But
it's still like crazy to me how much they just like you can do whatever you want for 30 days. Like you have access to almost everything.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's like a couple things here and there that are like, oh, you can't access this, or you can't like summon retainers or some shit like that in the beginning of the game. I'm not sure if that's something you unlock later, or if that's just something they don't allow you to do in the trial. But yeah, they like almost everything is available to you in the game for that free trial, which is nuts. Because there is a lot of stuff. They have a card game in the Gold Saucer that I was thinking of checking out, but I didn't. It. Yeah, there's stuff in there. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
The card game in Final Fantasy VIII was like crack.
What was it called? It might be the same name.
I don't remember.
I forget what it's called. Was it Triad something or other?
Oh,
I can't remember I can't remember what it's called in 8 or 14 for that matter. So
I don't remember what the game was, what it was called. I'll find out real quick. But the card game was cracked. So if you mention any kind of card game or mini game of the same ilk in Final Fantasy, I'm like, fuck, I can't. I gotta stay away from it because I'm literally going to be on that like all day. I spent like 3 entire days in my Final Fantasy VIII playtimes with just that card game.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was cracked.
Yeah. Yeah, they got materia as well in 14 for whatever reason. That exists. So you can like I think you can actually convert like old weapons and armor and stuff into materia, and then you can, I guess they'll have abilities and stuff that you can infuse into your current or your preferred armor or weapons and all that stuff. But yeah.
That's interesting.
Final Fantasy XIV. There's a whole lot of stuff in there. And I don't think I've even reached any of like the Heaven's Ward DLC or not even Stormblood for that matter. So yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff, man.
Cool.
But to what you were alluding to earlier about me going backwards, I played some Parasite Eve for the PlayStation 1.
What?
Yeah.
Is it a PS1 classic?
It is a PS1 classic. Yes, it is. As well as Parasite Eve 2.
Oh.
At least in North America. They're both on PSN, yeah.
Wait, before you continue, you're correct. The name of the card game is Triple Triad.
Okay.
And I think it's the same in Final Fantasy XIV, but the one in Final Fantasy VIII is Triple Triad.
Yeah, it might be. Or it's a very similar name. I think Triad is in the name in 14.
Ah.
Yep.
Crack. I'm sorry, continue.
But yeah, no, I've been playing Parasite Eve for the PlayStation 1.
So your first time?
Yeah, my first time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I was sort of like vaguely interested in it, but I think because of the horror thing, I was like, nah, I don't really want to play that when it first came out. But yeah, it always, I don't know, like for whatever reason, I'm always struck by certain games by their cover art, and I kind of really like the cover art for that game. But I guess what prompted this is I'm on a Discord for like a bunch of like fighting game stuff, so. There's a Giant Bomb like fighting game fan Discord, and they have like weekly tournaments and stuff, and playing all these kinds of games. And these guys, they kind of or somebody on there decided to do like a backlog thing, like have backlog buddies. So you have a buddy system where you can do backlog stuff, and we combined a list of all the games in our backlog, or at least like the top 10. And Parasite Eve was one of those games, and the only reason I had it to begin with, I think I just got it like super cheap on a PSN sale.
Yeah.
And
that was fairly recently, right? Because I remember like that game was going for like $2 or like
something
$3
stupid like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it was around the same time, but also got like the first like couple of Resident Evil games for like real cheap as well.
That's possible. Yeah.
So yeah, I got that, and again, and once I found out it was like fairly short, like I think like if you just breeze through it, you can do it in 10 hours.
Yeah, so it's not well, for its time, it was considered kind of long for a game of its type, but yeah, it's not really that long.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't played a whole lot of it. I'm thinking I'm like 3.5 hours or so in the game.
Okay. Did you get to? So you fought Eve, and you
So I take it you've played the game.
Yes, I've played and beaten the game. Okay. I've played and beaten the game. I would say several times, but like more like 3 times.
Okay.
So,
but yeah, like the game is split up into like days. And I think there are 6 days total, but I think the last day might be split up into like another 3 chapters.
Yeah, the last day is like it's like 5 chapters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm somewhere in the 3rd day. I'm currently stuck on a boss. It was a dog that turned into this fucking huge 3-headed monster.
Oh, Cerberus, sort of.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. Might as well be.
Yeah, man.
But yeah. I don't know, like the first thing that jumped out at me is like, yeah, this game's kind of a product of its time.
Yes.
It's definitely a 90s ass PS1 game.
Yeah, it was different, and I think it was appreciated, and it was kind of like during that boom of like Squaresoft RPGs after Final Fantasy VII.
Or just doing like other weird shit, like not even RPGs. Like this is kind of like a hybrid, or at least it was marketed
like an action. It's like an action RPG.
Like, oh, it's a mix of Resident Evil, survival horror, and Final Fantasy turn-based RPG stuff.
Yeah, especially like they had like that game, and then later on they had like games like Vagrant Story, and they had Chrono Cross, and that was just all straight up late 90s, early 2000s stuff.
Yeah, that was almost like, I don't know if it was like the golden era, but it was like they were on fire for sure.
Oh yeah, they were putting out some good shit, man. Yeah, like for sure.
I still have to play Einhander, which I have somewhere, but yeah.
Einhander was fun. Yeah, Einhander was a lot of fun. I like that game.
I remember liking the demo a lot.
Yeah, I mean, what? How am I forgetting Xenogears?
Yeah,
and I'm also forgetting
Final Fantasy Tactics,
Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy VII, obviously, and yeah, man, they put out some really good stuff in the late 90s.
It was amazing, but yeah, Parasite Eve is one of those games, and yeah, I don't know. I don't love the. I don't know if I can blame it on the story itself, but like at least the localization or the translation just feels like, I don't know. It's off. It could be better.
Yeah.
The pace of the game feels like it's fucking lightning fast. Like things just move in that game, at least story wise, and they waste zero time talking about mitochondria left and right. I'm like, mitochondria this, mitochondria. Like, why are we so obsessed with mitochondria? This is okay.
I don't know. I had a feeling that they did that just because it sounded cool. You know, they wanted to like take like a scientific element of anything and something that just sounded cool. And they're like, mitochondria is responsible for this, and this is why all these creatures are turning into, or these like dogs are turning into creatures, or people are burning up and stuff like that. So. Yeah. You meet a scientist in day 2 who basically lays out pretty much like the whole theory about what they're revolving this whole story around about the mitochondria, and he kind of freaked me the fuck out. I'm like, dude, you are way into mitochondria. Because like the way they're describing it is like mitochondria is like a separate organism. It has its own like DNA. Yeah. It's different from the host or whatever. And they evolve like 10 times faster than, human beings and shit. And they're the superior being. I'm like, guy, you need to calm down a little bit. Good thing he didn't know about osmosis. Forget it. It's over if he knew about osmosis. Like, what if you could take all the elements and put, oh my God.
Oh, shit. I hope he never finds out. Yeah. Apparently, I think this is like, Parasite Eve is supposedly like I don't know if it's non-canonical or at least it's not consensual, but it's like a sequel to a novel. In like a Japanese novel or something like that?
Novel. Yeah, I wasn't sure of the facts on that. I thought it was like a remake of the novel or something, but you could be right. I don't know.
I think it's a sequel because like there's a character in the game who comes from Japan because there was an event that happened in Japan. So I'm assuming he's like maybe from the first book, assuming that there was a prequel of sorts.
That's possible.
Yeah, but that's what it seemed like to me at least. But yeah, this the story is a little wackadoodle, but it's fine. Seeing like mid-90s CG and stuff, and
we were freaking out about those graphics back then because back then Parasite Eve looked better as far as the CG graphics looked better than like Final Fantasy VII and VIII at the time.
Yeah, I'm sure they were using like their same people to do that. They were on top. Yeah, I think them and Namco were probably like kings of like pre-rendered CG at the time. It was fantastic at the time. But yeah, now looking at it, it's like like, okay, this rat is turning into this grotesque monster, and I'm like, it's supposed to look scary, but it just looks weird, and I don't know, bad, and the compression artifacts and all that stuff is like, oh, man, it's not as good, but
it's not exactly polished for today.
And then the mouth movements too, like there's
super slow.
There's that opera scene in the beginning, and there's this lady singing, and then it's just a circle that kind of It's like you go into Paint and you mess with the ellipsis tool and you just like hold down the mouse button and just start like twirling it around.
Just,
it just
like
looks
twirl
like
it around. It's like ovals and circles, triangles, even if you want.
Yeah. Look, she's singing. That's what we're supposed to be conveying here in this. Oh man, it was weird, but I mean, all that aside, it's a fine game. Like, I'm surprised how well it still plays for the most part.
Yeah,
it's still very playable. It's just I think the thing I have a problem with mostly is the combat. I just don't love the combat. Although it is, like, especially at the time, I'm sure it was a huge thing because it's kind of a hybrid of turn-based combat with real-time action or movement mechanics, at least.
Yeah, with the grid.
Yeah, because so it's like Resident Evil. It has pre-rendered backgrounds, so the camera is constantly moving around. So there's like a bunch of still frames, and you move around in those frames. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, no tank controls like the first Resident Evil. So combat will kind of randomly happen while you're running around on those pre-rendered screens, and so what will happen is once you encounter an enemy, it'll kind of pause, and then these enemies load in, and in the same environment, there's no like separate environment or anything like that. And you can move around in that environment in real time, and you're basically waiting for your active time battle to fill up so that you can then do an attack or some other action. Right. But movement is not considered an action that you have to wait for. So you can, during the whole time, you can kind of move around and position yourself because like the enemies are also moving around and trying to attack you once it's their turn to attack.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to move around, avoiding attacks in real time, and then once you get your thing filled up, your meter filled up for your action, then you can attack with either your weapons or you can use an item in case you need to heal, or use your magic ability, which is, I forget, this parasite energy or something, how they call it in the game.
Yeah, PE. They call it.
PE.
It's parasite energy, basically. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing. If anything about the battles, that's the thing I like the most about the battles is the specials, the super moves that she could do once you have enough energy stored. And you haven't gotten that far. You haven't gotten this far yet, but her final one is awesome.
Oh yeah,
it's absolutely amazing. It's just like such a fucking ridiculous. It's so ridiculously powerful. It like kills anything.
That's
like
cool.
Even like bosses, like the main boss. Like I think I had to do it just twice. Even though it was a hell of a recharge time, but I just did it twice, and the final boss died.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only one I've seen so far that's an attack is her energy shot.
Oh yeah,
and just shoots like a fireball.
Yeah, and they do give you choices. They do give you choices. Like the final one is kind of like both, where it heals you dramatically, and it's just like a crazy. It's like a lot of attacks on the boss while like I think every attack, I think every hit that you land heals you.
Oh, okay.
And usually it's at a point when you need it with that battle, because that battle's a little complicated.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, but yeah, I like that. I like that aspect of it, like the supernatural aspect of it. Like that was really cool that you got powers out of being basically infected.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, like I think my main problem with the combat is that it's hard to reliably avoid getting hit.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work. Like you can run around all you want, and it's like you'll still get hit like 2 feet away by like a dog or something, and it's just like, all right.
Yeah, and it's real bad, especially with the boss that I'm stuck on right now. It's like there's nothing I can do to avoid the attacks. It's like, come the fuck on. Like I'm just like constantly trying to heal and not doing any damage, and it's just it's getting frustrating. At least with that boss, that was like the first like roadblock that I've hit in terms of like the gameplay. But shit, I was like, man, I'm seeing that he's going to do this thing, and I'm pretty much as far away from him as possible, and still nothing. Or there's like sometimes it'll be laser beam attacks, and I know sort of like the pattern, but sometimes it's just a combination of you just not moving fast enough or not being able to move fast enough, and then just, I don't know, the game is just like, no, fuck you, you can't dodge this no matter what you do. So
yeah,
it's like, all right, thanks, you piece of motherfuckers. And then like sometimes like so you're still in those environments, and sometimes like they'll kind of block you off with like invisible walls too. So like not knowing that at first, I was like, oh, I didn't realize. I thought I had this long hallway I could run down and try and avoid people, but I guess I only have like this smaller section of the existing map to move around and avoid these enemies. So there's just weird stuff in there that detracted me from it. Like again, on paper it sounds like a cool idea, but that main thing is my main sticking point, where I just can't reliably avoid attacks that I know are coming, and it just that part just feels unfair. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of liken it to like more of the RPG aspect. Like, you know, most attacks will hit you even though they don't directly make contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know, there are times where the attacks will miss randomly. You know, it's just a matter of luck. So you kind of got to like think of it more like that and just kind of go in knowing that almost every attack will hit you. You know, especially with bosses, I think like the rate of the accuracy rate is greater for them than they are for regular enemies.
Yeah.
You know, so just kind of got to like go in knowing that, and then that'll kind of help you along a little bit. I'll
try. Yeah, but I'm gonna keep making my way through the game. Hopefully I can overcome this little obstacle. But yeah, that's like overall I'm enjoying the game so far. The story is kind of interesting, even though I'm not in love with the way it's written. The way it's portrayed in the game.
It gets a little in the weeds sometimes with, you know, the mitochondria and cells, and you know, but the story is good. It's a good game. It's a really good game, and the story, like you said, is one of the strongest points about it, you know.
Yeah, like the biggest thing I think against it is just that it, again, like it's a product of its time in a lot of ways, which is the biggest thing in getting in the way. Like, I don't know, sometimes it's just like, okay, this is dumb and ridiculous, but in a way that I can enjoy still. So it's not like I'm still having fun. But at the same time, but some of that fun is like poking at it, like, hey, that's a funny '90s thing that we don't do anymore. It's kind of fun to see stupid stuff like that. But yeah, Parasite Eve, I'm having fun with it. And actually, the other thing I wanted to mention is the inventory. Inventory is super limited, but it took me a while to wrap my head around this. But you can basically like feed equipment to other equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can, I think like they call it the tune-up mechanic, where you can take one parameter from an armor piece or a weapon and then apply it to one of your other weapons or armor pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that stuff is like cool just to customize your weapons, and you kind of have to do it because you have such a limited inventory. I think when you start the game, you have like, you can only carry like 10 items, and that's it. And then slowly over time, as you level up and stuff, you'll maybe get more slots, and I have an armor piece that gives me an additional slot, so maybe there's more stuff like that you can find in the game. But yeah, that also makes it interesting to, like, you know, customize your loadout and other things like that. But yeah, this game is very cool, especially for, you know, a late 90s game, and I'm kind of glad I'm finally checking it out, because it's something I've been curious about for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good game. It's a really good game. I actually haven't played Parasite Eve 2. But I have played the Third Birthday, which not a lot of people probably have not played or heard of.
Yeah, that was like I guess it wasn't intended to be a sequel, but it's still like the main character.
Yeah, it's still the main character, and the story is completely like different in every way. Not a great game, honestly. Right. A lot of production value went into it. You could tell they really wanted it to be like the third game in this trilogy, I guess you could say, but. Yeah, it was not a great game at all. I did beat it just because, but yeah, it was a bit of a chore. And
that's
it was weird. But yeah.
Yeah, PSP games, man. I don't know. It was like a PSP like first person shooter or something like that, right?
It was a third person. It was a third person game, but it's a PSP third person game, and again, it was kind of like during that whole like, you know, PSP had like the Square Enix like games, like the strong Square Enix games like Birth by Sleep and Crisis Core.
Hell yeah, Crisis
Core. And you know, the Third Birthday. Like the Third Birthday was supposed to be like a part of that whole thing, but it didn't. It didn't really fit in with all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think the only reason I played it was because the same composer for actually all three games.
Oh yeah,
all three of those games that I mentioned, Yoko Shimomura. Yeah, she did the music. She returned to do the music for the Third Birthday because she did the music for the first Parasite Eve.
Okay,
which I loved. I loved the music for that, but the music in the Third Birthday was kind of like, like I don't understand. But you know, there were some good songs, but not much.
Yeah, I'm kind of up and down with the soundtrack to this one. There's most of the tracks I like, but again, also product of its time. But there's at least one thing that was like, I don't know, this doesn't feel right at all. I I couldn't tell you what it was or where I was in the game where I heard that. But for the most part, it's like it's this weird synthy thing, which is very cool.
Yeah, they were definitely again trying things back then.
Yeah,
and I just had to see what worked out.
Yeah, but Parasite Eve is very cool, man. I enjoy playing it.
Cool, man. Yeah. I'm glad you played it. Continue with that and beat it, and let us know what you think after the fact.
Yeah.
But all right, so I'm just gonna talk real quick about a game that I finally got the chance to sit down with and play, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about Tekken 7.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you so late, Frank? Tekken 7 came out like a month ago.
Yeah.
I know, but I finally got the chance to sit down with it, and especially because it's going to be one of the games featured this weekend at Evo. And so I've liked Tekken a whole lot since Tekken 2. Like that's the first Tekken I ever played.
Okay.
And then I've played every single Tekken since. And Tekken 7, I gotta say, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun, especially when you play with people. That's where you get the most fun out of it. And it has a lot of stuff, a lot of content, but I don't know, for some reason I'm kind of thinking that this is just more of the same. And
oh man.
I don't know, maybe I haven't played it enough. But I'm just kind of like, all right, like what this game is definitely doing for me though, especially playing through the story mode, because it forces you to play different characters, is that it's forcing me to play different characters. So I'm kind of figuring that I'm like, oh, hey, I kind of like these characters. Like, I didn't think like Heihachi was like the basic character, like, like he's the basic character, and I'm like, oh, he's the basic character. I had no idea that he was the dude. Like I would always use.
I agree with that, because I feel like he's maybe harder to do certain stuff with. Like maybe some of his moveset is a little more complicated to do. I think so, or at least that's what I've heard. But yeah, I don't know if he's like I don't know if he's necessarily basic, but I saying that almost feels like you're saying like he's like the beginner friendly character, which I don't know that that's true.
Well, maybe not. I'm not sure. But to me, especially because in story mode they force you to play him a lot.
Yeah,
so that just kind of like, yeah. So it kind of makes me believe that maybe he's he's obviously the poster boy for the most part.
I think it's just mainly because the story is about him, pretty much.
It's about him. Yeah, it's about him and his legacy.
Because like that's like one of my main complaints about the story mode is that you don't play, like you play as a couple different characters, but like maybe a quarter of the cast in the game. It's not a lot of players, not a lot of characters that you even see in the game.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think I've played the game enough to make the assumption that like, it's just more of the same, but I do want to try out the new characters that they have. They look like they have some really interesting new characters. And one thing I've always appreciated about the Tekken series is that like, well, for the most part, they use real martial arts. Like, there like a lot of real martial arts are represented. If it wasn't for Tekken 3, I would not be practicing the art that I've been practicing for the past 10 years. So I owe a lot to Tekken 3 for that. I owe a lot to Tekken General for that, for like making me like, oh, what the hell is this?
Right.
So I use Eddie on principle. Like I just use him on principle, and I can see where everybody's like, oh my god, he's just a button masher. He's just a button masher's dream. Because if you just keep spamming the kick buttons, man, he just does some crazy shit. But there's actually like a legit way to play him, and I'm trying to play him in that fashion. Like the real way, the legit way to play him. Not just using the kicks, using his punches and using combinations, and knowing what moves work and his 10 hits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and I use Steve. Steve is a dope character. Like I said, I've started to gravitate towards boxer characters in the past few years, and Steve is not an exception. And I just like Steve's style, just boxing. It's a sweet science. And he just straight punches you through walls, man. I like that. I like that about the character. He's dope. He's got a really good, cool sense of style too. With his boxing, like those weaves, so he bends his back so far. So yeah, like I use Steve, Eddie, and I want to try to start using Law And I want to try to start using like some of the new characters, like, well, the newer characters, I guess, that I haven't been really exposed to, like Miguel or Claudio.
Okay.
Or even Lucky Chloe. I want to try using her, see what she's all about. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like the game has a lot of options to explore, especially with the fighters and the content, you know, with the whole like customize your character. I've seen people with some crazy ass costumes online with their characters. So I'm like, shit.
Yep.
So there's so many options to kind of work with that.
You'll throw a gun on your character and you get to use that gun in a match.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what? Okay.
There was someone that actually did, I don't know if you saw it, but there was someone that actually did a meme of a fight that they dressed their character up as Joker from Persona 5.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they did the all out attack animation, and when they finished the all out attack animation, the character just drew a gun and shot the character and killed him. And I'm like, that's fucked up.
Oh,
but it's because in Persona 5 you can use guns, you know, as options alternate to your attack. So
okay.
But yeah, man. The game has a lot. The game definitely has a lot going for it. I need to get into it more. I need to explore it a little more. But on first impression, I'm just like, it's kind of, well, you know, same thing. Like, I don't know, but I'm definitely going to get into it a little more because it's a lot of fun, especially when you play against people. It's great. It's so much fun. It's great.
I haven't done much besides beat the story mode and play some online, and that was it. I myself need to get back to it as well because I would like to try and learn the game, even though the game doesn't teach you shit about how to actually play the game, which is another gripe that I have. But I don't know. Did you finish the story mode at least?
No. I think I'm on chapter 4. So I did the prologue in chapters 1 through 4.
Okay.
So the story mode is all right for the most part. Like, again, like, you know, I mentioned before, you just play a lot of Heihachi the whole way through. And, you know, maybe I played Kazuya once. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool though that they're kind of like they have like callbacks to the other Tekken games.
Yeah. There's that one
story
bit
mode
with that what was it, the Tekken 4 ending or something with all the jacks and shit in the dojo or something?
Yeah, Tekken 4. Yeah. When Kazuya and Heihachi are just beating the crap out of those dudes and stuff. Yeah, that was in Tekken 4. And they actually, it was the strange thing is it was the same fucking render, like the same video from like the PS2 Tekken 4. Like they didn't even bother to like reanimate it, you know? Only at a certain point in the end. That's when they like reanimated it, and it was like, oh, okay, this is Tekken 7 graphics now. But like the video was the same fucking video. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, I think without that, at least for me, like I wouldn't have realized that. Oh, this is from a previous Tekken game. Yeah. I after Tekken 4 is when I kind of checked out from the series, so I wouldn't have known. Oh, this is a thing that happened already.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was definitely, it was kind of like a big highlight of that game. Like it was probably one of the few good things about it. But yeah, that was a big thing in Tekken 4. And you know, it's kind of cool. Like they kind of like, all right, you get to actually play this scene now instead of just watch it happen. And yeah, and another really cool callback I have to mention is because Tekken's music has always been like really awesome. Like there's just been some great standout music from the Tekken series, and I love the fact that you can actually customize like all of the, like they have the soundtracks for all of the games up to so far, from the first game to now, including the spin-offs, and you can customize every single stage with whatever music you want to play in that stage. You can even customize like the modes, like, you know, if it's like maybe the character select, or if it's like gallery mode or something, you can customize what music you want playing in the background.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, this is so awesome because there's such a big library of Tekken music, and that's so cool that you can just basically customize it to whatever, you know, whatever you want. If you want to hear the same track in every single fucking stage, you can do that. You know? So
Tekken 3 staff roll every stage. Let's see how we go. That drum roll in the beginning gives me life.
Yeah, man. It'll be like, for me, it'll be like Tekken 3 Nina Williams all the way through. All the way through. The console version, not the arcade version. But yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Now Tekken 7, it's good. I need to get into it more, and then I'll be able to offer a better opinion on it. But so far, first impression, it's a lot more of the same, but it's not necessarily bad. So we'll definitely see how that goes. I definitely want to try playing against people, like anybody. So yeah.
Yeah. Have you done online at all?
No, not yet. Okay. I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
There are some monsters online. No.
How's you gonna learn, man?
I'll eventually, maybe like tomorrow or whatever, like before Evo. But yeah, like there are some monsters online, man. Like I've seen too many videos of people just getting bodied, and it's just really embarrassing that some of these people die in the worst ways too.
I hear Tool Assisted is out there as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. So it's pretty bad, but no, at the same time, I will definitely go online at some point. I'll jump on there.
Yeah, I played rank and it was fine. Like, because generally speaking, or at least at that time, they were ranking me up with people around the same rank as I was.
Similar.
Was like nothing because I was starting out. So I'm sure you'll be fine.
I mean, that obviously makes sense. I'm hoping that that's the case. But yeah, man, I hope that I hope to definitely play this game more. I'm kind of sad that it took me a whole month to start playing it, but the game, like I said, the game is good. It's just first impression. I need to play more, and then I'll be able to offer a better opinion on it. But,
or maybe your expectations were too high.
Yeah. I mean, we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Maybe after Evo, like it'll be like, oh, all right, I really need to fucking play this game now, like like hardcore, because you'll see like top level play and be like, holy shit, okay, I didn't know you could do that with that character and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll open my eyes, which is one of the best things about Evo. It can get you into a game that you never fucking thought you'd ever play, legitimately.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So all right. So that's it for what we've been playing, and we're gonna go into headlines. So before we do, follow us on InnerCityGeeks.com. You should be going there right now. So first up, in some not so good news, the game Firefall by developer Red 5 is officially shutting down, and the closure came from a post on the studio's official site. Unfortunately, that it just didn't work out, especially with the dispute that they've been having. But they say they do plan to continue it in a different form as a mobile game. So that's something. I guess that's some sort of progress, but it just seems like the whole breakup and the feud was just a little too messy for them to kind of like continue on with it.
Yeah, the game was always weird. Like I knew nothing about the game other than like at PAX for like a few years they had like this gigantic booth, and I'm like, what the hell is Firefall? And then it's just like, okay, it eventually came out to, at least from my perspective, it's a little fanfare. So I was like, okay, who are they marketing this game to, and what's the deal? And yeah, I don't know. It's sad to see people get laid off and stuff, but I don't know. The way they put this game out was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was definitely, especially because it was, I don't know. I guess maybe from the idea of it, because the idea was ambitious enough, but like they wanted basically a first-person MMO, and that's, well, I mean, well, you kinda sorta got like games that are doing that now, like Destiny. In a way.
Now, but I think Firefall might have predated Destiny.
Yeah, for sure. It just never got off the ground, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's an unfortunate news. But the next bit of news is very fortunate. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I didn't even know about this till like right before we started recording, and I was just like, wait, what? What are you talking about? So
did you not hear about this?
I didn't.
Of all people?
I know. I'm disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
So So Platinum Games, very, very revered developer, at least in my eyes. Platinum Games. They recently launched a new Twitter account, a Japanese Twitter account, and they had a bit of a tease on the Twitter account. It showed a picture of a group of players, including Hideki Kamiya, who has directed the first Bayonetta and the first Devil May Cry, and great action games. Beautiful Joe, great action games that we've come to appreciate to this day. So it showed a group of players playing the Wonderful 101, but not the Wonderful 101, not with the Wii U gamepad, but with the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. And then, holy fuck, what does that mean? Why would they do this? Now, first thing immediately comes to mind, they're releasing the Wonderful 101 on the Switch. Wonderful. Everybody needs to play that game right now. I have not talked about this game enough on the show. Best game of 2013 goes to the Wonderful 101 for me. So go play the Wonderful 101. God damn it. So that tease right there at least guarantees, and to some degree, I wouldn't say guarantees, but it remains very hopeful, highly hopeful that the Wonderful 101 will be released on the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, so far, the teases have come to fruition, being like Bayonetta coming to Steam and Vanquish as well. Those were both teased, and PC, they followed through with those. Man, I'm hoping that if you have a Switch, get the Wonderful 101 on it. Just do it, because they have to announce it first. Come on,
I know. Hold on, Frank. Hold on. If they do come out with a Wonderful 1 on the Switch, get it. Because if the sales are good, what happens is that they can have money and use that money to hopefully develop a sequel to this fantastic action game. If you love action games, and if you love really amazing, over the top, but not like too over the top, but like difficult, but not too difficult, but like crazy, awesome, like fun action games, you need to play the Wonderful 101 now. Just stop listening to this and go play that game now, because that's what this game is. Like, god damn it, it's so fucking good. Oh my god. I think I've played that game like 9 times, like start to finish.
Wow.
Never missing a beat. Wow. It's great. It's so good. It's so fucking good. But yeah. So, and the Wonderful 101, if people didn't know, so if you like Beautiful Joe, the Wonderful 101 is basically a spiritual sequel to Beautiful Joe. Not Beautiful Joe 2. Forget that game ever existed. But Beautiful Joe. The first Beautiful Joe. Right down to that, they got the same voice actor that voiced Beautiful Joe to voice Wonder Red.
Oh, wow.
The main character, not the main character, but the leader of the Wonderful 101 in the game. So, yeah, just do it. Just do yourself a favor. Some top flight shit right there. So, yeah, so hopefully this tease leads to something better, leads to something great. And I'm highly looking forward to the Wonderful 101 on the Switch if it happens. So, yeah, that was my little geek out for for the news this week. So, moving on to other news. So, for Star Wars Battlefront II, the beta is coming, and they have a release date of October 6th. And it will run through the 9th, and they include finally one of the biggest selling points of Battlefront 2, which was a glaring omission in the first game, is space battles. Space battles are here, and I'm really looking forward to space battles. Like, the only reason I didn't pick up the first Battlefront is because they didn't have space battles. I need those space battles. It's like my second favorite aspect of Star Wars, next to the lightsaber stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so the beta is happening. Jump on it. The space battle mode is called Starfighter Assault. They're not really going into specifics on what it's really going to be about, but it's basically, they say that you're just going to be able to take part in a massive space battle that takes place during the original trilogy. So, okay, excitement. I'm definitely going to try this beta out for sure, just for the space battle stuff. So,
what would you lean more towards, X-Wing or TIE Fighters?
Oh man, I'm X-Wing. Yeah, I've got to be on the side of good. But apparently, like the TIE fighters, like in the Force Awakens, it's like, whoa, they move a lot faster.
Yeah. Well, it's all also a matter of perspective, isn't it? About good and evil and all that stuff.
But I'm on the side of good.
If you say so. That's the one thing I'm interested about this game, is that you're playing from the perspective of the Imperials and how they, I guess, deal with stuff. And I think it actually, story-wise, like timeline-wise, it fills in like from the end of Return of the Jedi and all the way to the beginning of The Force Awakens. So that entire whatever 30, 40 year span is contained in the story mode for Battlefront 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm kind of intrigued. So I also skipped out on the first Battlefront, but that's because I'm not super into Star Wars to begin with, and I played a little bit of like the demo or the beta or whatever it was that they put out there, but I was like, I don't know, this is kind of Battlefield-ish. I don't know. It's not enough. But the story mode might draw me in.
I get it. I think definitely with this game, and unfortunately I didn't get the chance to play it at E3. They had it available to be played at E3, but the line was kind of long.
Yeah.
For it, and there was just so much happening. But it seems I'm hoping that they have made improvements from the first game, because I heard for what it was worth, the first game was great. It's just that it just didn't have anything else outside of like the multiplayer aspect. Like that was the whole thing driving it.
Yeah.
And for some reason execution kind of fell a little short with just that. So yeah, so the beta is actually going to be available on all of the platforms that the game is going to be developed on. So PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So the game itself is coming out on November 17th. So just a little bit more than a month after the beta, you get the game itself. So if you want to just wait, sure. But I kind of really want to try the space battle stuff, because that'll be the determining factor whether I get the game or not.
Right.
Honestly. So
I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome stuff. So, in other news, once again, we were talking about the, Christmas this weekend, and ESPN2 is going to once again televise the finals for Evo, the Street Fighter V finals for Evo. So, July 16th, it will be at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and it'll be at 7 p.m. Pacific. That the competition you'll be able to watch the competition on TV live as it's happening, with all the commentators and the live. Just the atmosphere will be like so awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, Evo, and the championship and the finals of Evo Street Fighter V. Just get hype, yo!
Very exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited for this too. But yeah, so if you're watching this weekend. So I honestly, I think I prefer to watch it on TV. Like, just for some reason, watching it on stream, like there's just a lot of breaks in stream, whereas on TV, it's kind of like a lot more consistent. And I think the TV feed is slightly faster than the stream. So
yeah, I mean, the Twitch has like, I don't know, it's like something like a 30-second delay or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, if you're watching Evo this weekend and you're going to watch Street Fighter V finals, you can watch it on TV if you so choose, but you can also just watch it on the same stream that you've probably been watching all the other fighting games happen on. So, in other news, which is kind of fucking cool, Doomfist is finally here, and we're talking, of course, he's in Overwatch. So Doomfist was actually advertised to be in Overwatch before the game came out, but he never actually made his first appearance until now, like his first playable appearance until just now.
Yeah.
So Doomfist's whole deal is that he has these hand cannon gauntlets that basically are like, he uses them for like seismic attacks. So he can basically knock opponents down or shake the earth, shake the ground. And there's a video trailer of him on this article, and he seems really awesome to me. Like, I just love his whole design and everything.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, I've seen like videos online. Like, I've seen videos of like entire teams of Doomfist, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to, man. You have to. He's the new character. Everyone's excited. That just makes perfect sense.
Yeah. But yeah, he's the Overwatch kind of like paints him as like a legendary villain, and he's the leader of characters like Reaper and Widowmaker. And yeah, he just seems pretty cool. Watch the trailer, and if you've already been playing him, let us know what you think, because yeah, he seems so cool to me. Even though he's a bad guy, I don't really gravitate towards villains, but he just seems really cool to me.
Did you see that anime trailer for him?
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit, that thing is amazing.
Yeah.
This is the first time they've done like, regular like 2D animation for anime style sort of thing. It's like, oh my God, it's so fucking cool.
It's so crisp.
Yeah.
Crisp and clear, nice looking.
Actually, I will say, I did play some Doomfist because when I heard the description of his power set, I was like, yo, is this guy just straight up a Shoto character? He's got a move that's just called Rising Uppercut.
Rising, yeah.
He can charge up his gauntlet and he just like charges across the map and like slams into a dude. Like, what? Oh my God. And yeah, it was the first time that I'm like, okay, I'm going to finally do the PTR. And I downloaded that shit and yeah,
man.
I got my Doomfist on. But yeah, it was funny because some of the, they had arcade modes specifically to showcase Doomfist. Like they had a 6v6 all Doomfist elimination mode. And then they had a, I forget what it's called, but it's like basically it's a free-for-all. It's regular Overwatch matches, but you can pick whatever character. There's no limitations on that. Normally, you can't have more than one of the same character, but with the free-for-all thing, you can just pick like 6 Doomfists if you want, like you said before. And yeah. I started off in one of those matches, and then I was like, oh, we're losing, and we don't have a healer. I'll just switch to Zenyatta for now, because I want to win. I've had my Doomfist fix, but yeah. It's fun fucking uppercutting fools and then charging that fucking fist thing, and especially when you hit somebody, because you can kind of knock them back into a wall, and once they hit the wall they get damaged even more. It looks so cool because it's got like that big fucking splat decal, like you're breaking the wall because you hit them so hard into it. It's so fucking satisfying.
Yeah, nah, he looks so dope, man. Like he looks really fucking cool.
Yeah,
I gotta say.
Yeah, I don't play a lot of offensive characters, but he's probably going to go into my regular rotation in Overwatch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. As he should.
Mm-hmm.
As he should. So, and last in the news, the most exciting news of all. So one of the most challenging modes in Tekken is making a return. Like one of the most like strenuous, just like one of the worst modes in Tekken is making a return. So Tekken Bowl is coming back. And it's coming back as DLC. So Tekken 7 is going to have a new DLC pack that's coming out in August on PS4, Xbox One, Windows, PC. And this Tekken Bowl is different because this Tekken Bowl is going to be called Ultimate Tekken Bowl. And basically it's going to be the same. I'm completely joking. It's going to be the same thing as Tekken Bowl from Tekken Tag Tournament and onwards.
I'm sure it will.
And I don't know about you. I thought Tekken Bowl was a lot of fun.
But you're not kidding about what it's called.
No. That's true.
That part is true. Yes.
No, that's true. But yeah, like Tekken Bowl. I remember playing Tekken Bowl from Tekken Tag, and I thought it was so much fun. Like I loved it. I don't know. It was something just so corny about it. Like just so corny and weird. And I don't know. It's like every time you hit a strike, the characters would do like their win poses. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is so weird. The music was just so off. And I'm like,
that announcer too, like the actual regular Tekken announcer doing commentary for bowling and stuff was beautiful. It all worked so well together.
It worked. It was way off. It was way off, but it worked so well. I don't know. It was so fun. It was so much fun. But yeah, Tekken Bowl hasn't been around since Tekken on console at least. Tekken Bowl hasn't been around since Tekken 5. So it's coming back.
Cool.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of excited about this. I just hope the DLC is free. Like, I don't really want to pay for Tekken Bowl.
Right. Yeah. Not just Tekken Bowl, at least. If you throw in something else there, maybe.
Throw in something else, yeah.
Maybe.
That would make more sense. And if it just Tekken Bowl just happens to come with it, I'm like, all right, I'll take it.
Maybe if you throw in Tekken Force, then we can talk. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a silly thing. I'm glad they made this announcement.
Yeah. Tekken Bowl, out of Tekken Bowl, it worked so well for me. I don't know what it was.
Man, was it the solid gold Heihachi pins?
Yeah. Man, those were I always had to go for those, man. I always had to go for those. Like Tekken Bowl was so bad.
Those look terribly imbalanced for bowling, but hey, it's whatever you apply, whatever physics you want to. It's a video game. Who cares?
Hey, they tried something new. They took a shot and it worked. It worked enough that they brought it back.
Yeah,
they brought it back for their latest iteration of Tekken. So yeah, this Tekken Bowl's back. So get excited. Hopefully it could be like an Evo spinoff event. I'm sure it will be. Sure it will be someday. It could be like Tekken Bowl. I'm like, just Tekken Bowl, not the fighting game.
Tekken Bowl, salty Tekken sweets. Bowl. Let's go.
I'm like, all right, let's do it. Excited. But yeah, Tekken Bowl's back, so get excited. So yeah, that's it for our headlines for this week. And as always, you should have been following us at InnerCityGeeks.com. So we're going to move into new and upcoming releases, and Alex is going to go ahead and take us through what we can look forward to for the week. So go ahead.
Yeah, so for this week, the week of July 11th, it's going to be a little bit of a light week. I'm also skipping a couple releases because there was some stuff that didn't really grab the eye, but here's what we got for our list for this week. First up, Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age is now out for PlayStation 4. I have my copy right now because I couldn't resist. The Final Fantasy is strong right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's grabbing you.
Yep, sure is. Also out to this week, Fire Pro Wrestling World for the PC. Arcade Archives Neo Geo Polestar for the PlayStation 4. Fable Fortune is out for the Xbox One. My understanding is that it's like a sort of like a digital card game, much like Hearthstone, but in the world of Fable. Also, kind of a surprise to me, I didn't realize that this was like greenlit or whatever, but Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Episode 1, Hero in Residence, is now available for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, 360, and PC. Black the Fall for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Mr. Shifty is out for the PlayStation 4. And finally, Death Squared is available for the Nintendo Switch. And that's it. That'll wrap it up for our new releases for this week.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad there's not a lot coming out this week because we need to get geared up for Evo, man. We need to we need to get ready to sit down and do nothing. Just watch.
Zero distractions.
Just watch the mayhem. Yeah. So actually, that means that we are done with this episode, though. So yeah, I know. Another one in the books, though. So before we officially go, we would like you to visit InnerCityGeeks.com, which you probably should be there already if you follow instructions. And the reason why is because that's where we're located and it's where we have a bunch of stuff regarding everything geek. You can view and or subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Good Games Podcast. And we have some older episodes on there as well. And you can listen to the episode there, or you can listen to us on iTunes where you can leave us a review. It's the best thing that you can do for us. Whether you like the show or whether you don't like the show, just let us know what you think, and it would be greatly appreciated either way so we can improve or keep doing what we're doing. And you can also listen to us where all podcasts are available to be listened to. And I also want to encourage everyone to click on the Amazon banner on the right-hand side of the InnerCityGeeks.com page. Again, you should already be there right now. And see that Amazon banner on the right-hand side. Click that. It'll take you to Amazon. When it does, go buy whatever it is you were going to buy. And then a little bit of that will come back towards us so it can provide more show and more content just for you. You can reach us on all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at InnerCityGeeks. You can reach this show specifically on Twitter at Good Game Podcast. And you can also email us at goodgamespodcast@gmail.com. And with that is actually gonna about do it for this episode. So thank you all for listening. go ahead and watch Evo this weekend.
Evo, baby.
Yeah, we will be talking about Evo in depth next week.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to say goodbye. And we're going to get ready and get our couches ready and, all our screens ready. Evo is excitement right now. Evo is everything right now. So,
yeah.
So, at least for us. So, we hope you're as excited as we are. So, we're going to say goodbye. And in leaving, as always, we say, good games, everybody.
Good games.